Hello and welcome back to the Lamenters. Last episode was a painful, tragic, dramatic episode. And we didn't just lose one member of the party, we lost two. And for those who haven't watched that episode, sorry, you just got spoiled. Although I guess since I didn't say who died, maybe it's not a spoiler. But if you did watch the episode, y'all know what happened. So this brings us to where we left off. The remaining members of the party, having successfully closed the gates and trapped the zombie horde inside the village of Oak Point, had left and met up outside of the west gate. So where we are is Freya, Roll Good, and Gizmo. You guys are outside of the west gate. Now, if you remember, you wisely tied up your horses. So you just have to make it about 50 yards to the bridge, and then just beyond the bridge to that grove of trees. So you guys begin heading out that way, and you don't see any zombies immediately outside of the gates. But as you're going towards the bridge, you see two men on horses. And you don't see any zombies around the bridge. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't have horses. You left them at the farm. So, but you see two men on horses on the other side of the bridge, and you see them kind of like looking around. And sorry, as you get closer, you notice one of them's not a man, it's a woman, but she's wearing chain armor and she has a shield, and there's like a mace slung down at the side of her horse. And you see another man on horseback next to her, also in chain armor with a shield and a sword. So you guys approach, and you get to the bridge, and they see you. Heath, why don't you describe what your character looks like as they're coming towards you?
My character is pretty rough looking, with chainmail armor and a sword and a shield. Looks like he's been pretty battle hardened, but a little slimmer and a little sleek. Okay. A slight of build.
And Kail, why don't you describe what your character looks like as they're approaching?
Well, yeah, she's wearing chain armor. She's not like slim by any means, but she's also not like too big, but she looks pretty stout. And she's got average features, neither hard nor soft. And her hair is like just tied into a single braid into a bun in the back.
Okay. So you two are on horses, and you see this group of three people who look like they've been through hell.
I approach them slowly and say, "Hello, friend or foe?"
Hello.
Depends on you.
We are neither. Friend nor foe.
What is going on here? Have you met any zombies on the road? Do not go into the town. It's full of zombies, and we need to get away from here as quickly as possible.
Yes, we have seen zombies.
We dispatched a few.
Do you have them trapped?
We have all the town is the gates are closed. The zombies are inside. We were thinking of going to our friend of ours farm and see if we can take refuge there and rest up for the next part of our journey.
While you have them trapped, shouldn't we kill them all?
There's 60 of them.
I care not about numbers.
I'm not interested in going back in there.
Nope. I really need to take a break.
Elena, what party have we stumbled onto here? I think we should burn them. Gonna burn them to the ground.
You look pretty beat up there, Kratos.
Right. Maybe we should follow this party and regroup and find a way
they're-
to fight these things.
If the zombies are trapped, they're not going anywhere. We can
We
come
need to
back.
figure out how this is happening. We still haven't figured that out. We've been trying to figure it out for weeks or for days. We haven't done it yet.
Elena, you're lucky I'm slightly attracted to you. I will take your word and we can
Sucks for
leave.
you.
You know I like big women.
That's too bad for you, I guess.
So tell me,
Let's escort these poor fellows.
Yes, let's regroup at the farm.
if you don't mind, we'll tag along.
We could always use some extra blades.
Bro, good. Do you mind? And Gizmo goes to your back and checks your head for Red Crescent.
Who are you going to check?
Bro, good.
Yes, you can check.
Okay. Well, is there anything?
No.
Oh,
Why are you looking at the back of his neck?
because almost all these zombies had mark on the back of their head. I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't think we ever got that close to them to find out.
I don't think so either. I just smashed their heads in with this mason knife.
That's why I love you.
Did you
No.
see any green gems in them? It would be in the neck.
Or green glow.
Did we, Bill?
We've seen
You
many
did not
strange
see
things.
any green glows, but when the small man mentioned a symbol, you do recall seeing a symbol on some armor against some opponents that you encountered on the road to the south.
Yes. We do
Small man.
recognize that symbol. We recognize
What
it
type
from
of symbol?
It's like moon, but it's usually made in red. It's like crescent.
Crescent
Have you
moon.
seen anything like that?
Remember, Elena, like those orcs with the strange uniforms that we fought.
Yeah, we fought orcs as well,
You did.
my friend.
Yeah,
Really?
well armored, even have boots on. It's never encountered orcs like those.
Hmm.
How did you fare
Same
against
ones.
them?
then.
We've killed at least 4 of them.
Outstanding.
We had 2 more members of the group. They sadly didn't make it out of the city. They joined the horde.
We too
Sorry
have
for your
lost many.
loss.
Sorry for your loss.
As you are kind of getting acquainted and Gizmo mentions this, you see the west gates of the village are like rocking back and forth as if a mob is kind of pressing up against them.
Oh
In
shit!
the distance, you hear multiple like groans of zombies, like many zombies.
You see Gizmo nervously turn back, and then he runs behind, towards the closest hill.
So you guys cross over the bridge, and as you're making your way, walking up towards the North Road, in the distance from the south and from the west, kind of just spread out across the farm fields, you see probably about 6 zombies. And I mean, they're really spread out. They're not like moving together like a horde, but just 6 kind of random looking zombies, and they're walking in your direction.
Perhaps we should take the conversation elsewhere.
Yeah, we better step up the pace and head on up to our friend's farm.
Okay. So you guys
Either
go up
way.
the North Road. I assume that the people not on horseback are jogging, but you guys make it up to the Kerr farm. and you actually see it looks clear. There's no zombies in the area, and as you approach the short path off of the north road that heads over to the Kerr's farm, you see Matthias Kerr on a horse of his own inside of his property beyond the barricades. And you see he has a longbow out, and he sees you guys, and he looks around and he gets off his horse. As you guys approach, he sees three of you, and he says, "Well, where's the other two fellas, and who are these people?"
We don't know who these two are, but our two compatriots sadly had succumbed in the town. It's really bad there.
He kind of looks up suspiciously at the two people on horseback, and he says, "Well, what names are you, and where do you come from?"
I am Credo Leegi. I come from the south region.
Elena, also from the south.
We have stumbled upon
fighting
these.
zombies and the orcs just as we have.
You
I think
have?
We've killed some well-armored orcs recently on our way over here.
Oh man, this is bad. He's like, "Well," he goes, y'all better get inside. Come on. Roll good, you help Matthias with the gates and the barricades. Everybody gets inside, and then you close up. And as you're walking back up towards his house, he says, "Credo and Elena, you're gonna want to put your horse in the barn. We're locking up all the livestock. Those things get restless. They start to come around if they hear animals, and they will eat anything that's living, including my livestock. So,
Much obliged.
I don't mind hosting you guys, but just so you're understanding here, this is my farm, my family, and we have another family here at the farm, so it's a bit tight. You are going to have to stay in the barn and set up some kind of watch to make sure those things don't break through any of my fences or the barricades."
We're just trying to regroup until we can decide what our next step's going to be. But we just had a hell of a fight with over 60 zombies, and we need a break.
And you didn't find anybody living in the village? All dead?
We found Magister Meyer was his name. He was inside of Magistrate, locked out. The stone wall held up for a bit, and he didn't make much noise, but he won't stay there alive for long.
You say he wanted to stay behind?
No, we didn't manage to get him out.
Oh, I see.
So he's still there.
We hope
Yeah.
so.
But he was very well fortified within his home. The stone walls and the steel gates and everything, but he should be okay for a while at least.
He has food enough to live.
That we don't know.
Well, listen, fellas, come on in into the barn. So you guys go into the barn, and it is very crowded. Livestock packing every bit of space. You see there are ladders up to the hayloft where Matthias suggests you guys can sleep, rest, whatever you need to do. He says, feel free to help yourself if you want to wash up or get some water from the well. And in a couple hours, he'll bring some supper out to you guys.
It's mighty nice of you.
Appreciate your hospitality.
He nods.
Thank you.
So he leaves. He goes back into the house, and you guys are all in the barn. It's still a little bit, light out, so you have some light. There is a lantern for later. It's an oil lantern, so but you guys have an opportunity to rest and clean up and talk.
Gizmo, at least for first our collapses on nearest haystack and just breathes and
Is there any more you can tell us? We don't know much.
Oh,
well,
maybe a round of introductions. I'm Freya, the lady of the group.
I'm Roll Good.
Gizmo.
Yeah, Gizmo needs to see.
Well met.
So,
Like I said before, my name is Credo.
Nice.
Elena.
Elena. The one thing that we do know is that the zombies follow Gizmo when he was moving around inside the city. That's something we have to use to our advantage. Why exactly they're following him, I'm not sure, but
He acts like a magnet for zombies.
What about Gizmo is different than the rest of you?
he's a magic user.
Yeah.
Interesting. Gizmo, do you know why they may have been following you?
No, I have few guesses. One of zombies seem to be a little bit more sentient than other ones, and he pointed me out as a target, as it seems. I really don't not sure how it works. It's interesting. It's worth of research, but man, I really had trouble now.
Does anyone know where we can find a very powerful magic user? We will need someone to shed light on this.
Probably let the local lord know what's going on down here.
That is a good idea, Elena. Do you all have connections to the townsfolk?
No. We arrived here and shit went down, and we held them out with the orcs, and things snowballed from there.
Maybe the farmer that has taken us in, maybe he can help introduce us to someone.
I'm not sure about that. He is full on resources, hosting all people from the town that we managed to rescue before.
Yeah. And with Gizmo being like that magnet, we probably shouldn't stay here too long, because we might endanger this family and all their guests.
I agree. We need to rest up as well as we can and then get back out on the road, either back to the castle, or what do you think about that map that you have also, Gizmo, to see if that can help us?
Yes. Have we discovered, is there anything that they don't do well? Like, do they climb? Do they run?
They burn well, and they are slow.
You said they burn well. Well met.
Yeah, and they were on the outside of the village, East Gate, and they were just bunched up against the gate and eventually climbed over. So they can climb.
They did climb.
Oh yeah.
That makes them more scary.
Oh yeah.
I do think they can use anything like leather or something. They are not. They basically made a huge mess of themselves, which they climbed on.
Yeah.
Like rats escaping the sewage.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I understand. Well, let's rest up. Let's eat. Let's thank this farmer for his hospitality.
I'm gonna go down to the well and get myself a bucket of water to clean myself up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yep.
I don't know if it'd be possible to make some arrows or not, but I'm really low on arrows, and we need to get some hit points back if possible. I don't know. I remember the mechanics of that.
So, couple things. You guys can clean up. I'll kind of summarize. You clean up. You rest a little bit. A couple hours later, Matthias and his son bring out a big, kettle of stew and some bowls and spoons for you guys, and some chunks of bread. So you guys eat. Do you ask Matthias about arrows?
Yeah, I'd like to ask him if he has any to spare, or it would be possible for me to use some of his supplies to make more.
He says, well, my daughters have been fletching all day, and they have made more arrows. He says, shoot, I don't know when the next time it's going to be safe to trade or barter with anybody around here. But if you all have some coins, maybe we could, exchange some silver for some arrows.
I definitely have some silver I would like to spend for some of your
Oh
arrows.
yeah, and you've been so good to us. I'll get you some extra.
He goes, oh, that would be appreciated. He says, think I could do, let's see. $20 arrows. I could part with 20. If you got 10 silver pieces, I'd call it square.
No problem. I'll give him
I'll
50
give 5.
silver.
Okay,
So-
so each one of you guys give him.
No, I'll give 7
Okay,
for
So-
the 2 extra.
okay. So you guys.
I'll give 10.
Okay.
For a total of 17.
He says, much obliged, and he hands you guys a quiver with 20 arrows, so you can split them. After his son leaves, he kind of sits down with you guys while you're eating, and he says, well, what do you think y'all are gonna do? You gonna head back up to Castle Lee, or?
Gizmo, can you show him the map to see if he can help us with that area?
Well, okay. And so Gizmo pulls out his straw holder and pulls out a clearly opened letter with still seal intact, but open. And yeah, do you know what this place on the map is?
He looks at the map and he says, well, it looks like that's southwest of Oak Point.
You know that area?
I haven't been out that way in quite some time. Those hills are, well, some folks say that they're haunted. There used to be an old burial ground there. There was a battle about 100 years ago, and a lot of folks died. A lot of soldiers died. And that was, like I said, about 100 years ago. And a lot of bodies were buried out in those hills. Folks thought that they were haunted. I remember when I was a boy, and my father and I would go hunting, he would steer clear of that place. I know the area.
I lean in. How did you come across this map? I've seen many maps, but none that cover this area.
It would be from Lord Lee. He governs this area.
Maybe we should speak with him.
Well, Lee Castle's up to the north. And to get
Yes,
there, you got to go through the big forest. He
It's
goes,
a good day's ride going up to the castle. So
it sure is. And that's by ride. Now, he says, I figure you can get to the hills if you wanted to. Probably look at about 15 miles.
So we could get there in a day.
Certainly. I don't know what this map indicates here, why those hills would be on there, but from my farm to those hills is about 15 miles. So
Who were you supposed to give this letter to?
It was for. It is still for a guy trapped in the city.
What are you going to do about Magistrate Meyer? Do y'all think you could even rescue him, or?
Oh, I might have idea. If we could get a ladder, we might be able to climb over the wall, then get into this second wall.
Do the same trick we did last time.
I think it would be possible, but I'm not sure if that's our priority right now.
I could easily fashion a ladder. I'm pretty good at crafting things.
If
We're along for the ride, so wherever you all want to go, we will follow.
Yeah. Well, we could try going back for Meyer and see if we can spot that green glowing fellow again, Bellow, and see if we can snatch him up.
When you say that, Matthias is like, wait, y'all saw Bellow?
Oh yeah.
he's in zombie.
Oh, man.
Please take it.
That is horrible. No other survivors? What about Falcone, the innkeeper?
The
No.
inn was wrecked, and he was in the epic zombie fight as well.
Yes, he was.
Oh, man. That's
And
horrible.
for some reason, Bellow has that green glow in his neck, and almost looks like a bit of a leader kind of zombie. What do you know of Bellow and his history?
I've known Bellow all my life. I mean, he's his family's owned that farm for generations. Then.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it has anything to do with what he was before, but he was surprisingly unscathed for zombie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other zombies didn't look like they were buried for close to a century. I don't think.
Well, anything buried for a century would be bones by that point.
Yeah. So all these zombies were fresh zombies. Nothing to do really, I think, with the burial site we just talked about.
Well, I'll let you fellas get your rest. Ladies, gentlemen,
Thank you.
if there are any sightings of any of those zombies, don't make any noise. Try not to rustle the livestock too much.
We'll try.
Okay.
We will
Quiet
move
as a
with
mouse.
caution.
All right. And he nods, he gets up, and he walks out. So are you guys doing like watch shifts through the night?
We can do that.
Okay.
Definitely.
I will assume that Gizmo will sleep.
Yep.
Yes.
Who's on first watch?
I can be.
Okay.
You and Credo probably should do two at a time.
I will watch with you.
2 at a time? Okay.
I'll watch with Freya.
All right. Your first watch is uneventful. You tap out, and the second watch people step up. Also uneventful. In the morning, you all have rested.
Prepare spells.
Okay. And you kind of are in the barn. Matthias opens the doors. You guys get some fresh morning air.
Do we gain any hit points for one night of rest?
Yeah. We'll say that. So it wasn't like you had deluxe sleeping accommodations, but it's also a little better. I mean, you had your bedrolls and you had hay, so it was a little better than maybe, just sleeping on the ground or camping. So you can recover. Were you at half of your hit points or less than half?
More than half.
You were more than half. So you automatically get 1 hit point back.
Okay.
If I regain 1 hit point, I will be at the full. So
I'm at exactly half.
Okay. You can also gain back an additional 1d3. So roll good, you get 2 more hit points.
I'm at full then.
Freya, you get 3.
All right.
Okay.
And Freya, we split the arrows, so now I got 10 arrows. You got 10 arrows.
Okay.
I'm going now at a total of 15 arrows.
I'm at 12.
Okay. Matthias tells you guys, so he opens up the barn doors. He tells you they'll have some breakfast for you guys. He just doesn't have enough room in the house, but as soon as his kids and the other adults are done eating breakfast, he'll bring you in. So a little while later, he comes out to get you. You see his son and his daughters, as well as Arnoldson. They all kind of come out, and they're basically handling the animals. They're taking them out to the pasture and letting them, graze and all that stuff. So they're on horseback. They all have bows. You guys go into the house. You have a bunch of eggs and some like oatmeal. And after breakfast, Matthias joins you guys back outside, and you're refilling some water around the well. And he says, "So, what is your plan? Are y'all gonna head to the haunted hills, or back to town, back to Castle Lee?"
First, we should at least try to get Meyer out. So,
I think we could give it a try, but we have to take a different approach this time, I believe.
yeah, we can't be detected. Yeah, we.
Well, shall we attempt a small experiment while we're on the way down to the town by handing over your backpack with all your goodies to either me or Rollgood, and see if
I have a different idea. How about if you and I and Gizmo all take one of our I'll just say it, our candle holders in each, and see what happens.
Candle holders? What are you
What do you
talking
mean?
about?
I think having them all in one bag and separating those from Gizmo and see which ones they follow would get a better result than having it spread between us.
Why are
Yeah.
you carrying candle holders?
And why do you think the zombies are following it?
Well, it's one of the working theories, and it's the most optimistic one we have. We found these, and I pull out a candle holder from my bag, and you can clearly see the emblem on it that you saw on orcs.
So as he holds up the cup of the candle holder, Kratos and Elena, you see this crescent symbol that is very much a match to the embroidery that you saw on the padded armor of those orcs that you fought.
You think orcs were after those, and maybe because they failed to collect them, that's the reason zombies are here?
Have you tried destroying them?
Oh, we didn't yet.
Well, I wanted, but they didn't let me.
I think that might be the key to us trying to reverse some of this madness that's going on here.
They want them so desperately, they may serve a higher purpose.
Yeah. But it feels like they want them for nefarious reasons, which is why I want to have them destroyed. But my party members feel like they can be used to reverse whatever is happening. So
A more
I'm
logical
split.
response would be to destroy those if they want to use them.
Yeah.
I'm not having all of those on me this time, and I pull out 2 more from my bag. I keep 1. Yeah, and it.
So who are you giving the candle holders to? Roll good?
I'll take
I-
one.
Yeah,
Well, you had about 6 or 9 of them, I think.
I had 4, and I think one of you had 1 more. I
I
don't know.
thought you had 6, and then our friend Taryn, who has left us, had 1. That's my recollection.
He had 1.
So wait, one of the units that you had is with a fallen member.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the city.
So it looks like our path is clear then. We have to return it.
Yeah.
Well, it's either
So
we're
we
going
need
to
to
destroy
go-
them or we're going to get them all. Which is it?
Oh, I would preferably keep these here away from the other ones, and
Agreed.
maybe carrying them all in one bag was a bad idea from the start.
Well, let's see what we can pillage then.
Okay.
Oh,
So are you guys going to set out on foot?
this time I think I would prefer to take a horse.
Me too.
Horses? Okay. All right. So you get your horses. Matthias wishes you luck. He opens up the barricades for you, and you guys go through. And you're back on the North Road. You begin heading south towards the village of Oak Point. And it's almost an eerie experience because the day before, you were doing the same thing. And you had 2 companions with you, but now you think about it, those 2 companions, Arizen and Taryn, you're pretty sure that they are zombies and they're inside of the village of Oak Point. So you guys approach, and you're easily able to get to the bridge. You don't see any wandering, roaming zombies per se. So you guys get to the bridge, and you can see the village of Oak Point across the bridge and about 50 yards away. And it looks like the western gate is still holding. Doesn't look like it's been burst.
Oh,
Are there any trees and like bushes around?
Yes, on this side of the river, there are some trees.
I'll stop hold up. We're gonna go over that wall. We need something a little bit better. I think maybe I could fashion a rough ladder of sorts to help
Okay.
us.
All right, you take it takes you about a half an hour to kind of cut the limbs and quickly kind of put them together, but you basically create like an 8-foot ladder that you can lean up against stuff to climb.
Okay.
So you guys approach the village. Are you going towards the western gate, or and basically Brolgood and Gizmo and Freya, being that you've been here before, you kind of know the layout a little better.
Yep.
So are you guys going to go from the south?
yeah, definitely from the south. We know there is a lot of them, and we want to face as little of them as possible.
Okay. And just to be clear, you're on your horses. What are you doing with the horses? Are you going to try to tie them off outside of the south wall, or are you going to leave them somewhere on the other side of the bridge, further away? What's your plan with the horses?
I would say that at least Gizmo tries to tie the horse to the bridge, basically. So my recommendation is to move quietly to some settlement.
All right. Are all the rest of you doing that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then you guys kind of secure the horses. You move east and south, and you end up on the south side, outside of the palisades. And you definitely hear the majority of the zombies on the inside, like on the western gate. They're kind of hanging up against that gate. When you get here, Elena, you lean your ladder up against the palisade, you climb to the top, and you kind of look over. You do not see any zombies for your field of vision this way or that way. You do see there's about a 5-foot hop between the palisades and the stone wall that is shorter that goes around the magistrate's home.
Right. Looks about all clear up here on this corner.
Yeah.
So the zombies are moving this way?
I can't see anything from up here, to the left or the right.
So you see when you're up there, you see this congregation of zombies.
Oh, okay.
Just they're all kind of like in a herd, just like pushing up against the gate, and then, but they're not. They're kind of in a clump in this big chunk here.
Correction. The horde is on that side of the village right there, pushing. But they're all over there. There's none here on this wall.
Yeah, we want to get to the house on the other side of that second wall, so...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you guys use Elena's ladder, you don't need to make a climb roll.
Yeah.
So you can basically get to the top and then jump across. Is that what everybody's doing?
Yeah, just the same double hop as last time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump first since I'm already up there.
Okay. So all of you guys successfully get over. And you are on the interior of the magistrate's home wall.
Oh.
I've got my mason shield out.
Okay.
I have my sword and my shield.
I have my axe.
Look
I've
around.
readied my rapier. Going east side around the house. Go to the front door.
Okay.
Carefully
Are you
peeking around the
stealth?
corners.
Are you doing stealth?
Yeah, basically, and just peeking, taking a quick peek around the corner.
Okay. Anybody doing stealth, make a stealth roll. D6. If you have dots in stealth, you can do that.
I'll be
Otherwise,
behind him, or behind her.
Yeah, got a 6 against 3, so
I got
I'm
a
motion
3
as hell.
against 4.
I got a 6.
so you guys are not stealthy at all.
I got
But you're kind of trying to sneak along. You get to this corner, and you see that the gate to the front is still closed. You don't see any zombies. And you go up to the front porch and you go to the door. And the door is still closed and locked.
I knock on it and Mayor, are you still here? It's Freya again. We come to rescue you.
How loud are you saying this? Well, you do it initially in about that tone of voice and you don't hear anything.
Well, I guess he's probably still. Well, I'm just gonna. He's probably still in the back in his basement. So we should probably go around the other side window that we broke and go in that way again.
Okay.
Just
all of you or just one of you?
Well,
I
a couple of
would be
us
outside.
probably Roll Good with his axe to knock down the boards to be put up.
Okay.
Then I can climb in, open the door.
Okay. That works. You get in. You guys go to the front door, you remove the deadbolts, and you open the door. The rest of you guys can go inside.
Yeah. And we go to the office and
I'm gonna stay out front and watch the gate to see what the zombies do.
yeah.
Okay.
I stay out front as well.
Same.
Okay.
So-
So
I'm going in.
Freya and Gizmo, you guys go in.
Yeah. I'll go
Okay.
straight to the office and see if he's in his cellar trapdoor.
Okay. You open up the trapdoor and you see Meyer like look up almost fearfully, and then he's like, "Oh, thank the gods, you've come back for me." He's like, "I was so worried. I heard things yesterday and I wasn't sure what was going on. Is it
Yeah.
safe to come out now?"
No, but it will be time for discussing it later, and you should definitely come with us. It will be safer than staying here.
Yeah.
We need something to quickly climb the wall. Do you have any bed frame or something like that?
Well, yes. I mean, or chairs. Yes. Help yourself.
Yeah.
Let me gather my clothes. And he goes down and you see him shoving stuff into a backpack.
I'm gonna tell him just pack light because we need to travel quickly.
Okay. And then a couple moments later, he comes up and you see he's very fearful and he's like, did you kill all of the Walking Dead? Are they all dead now?
Oh no, they're still here within the town, and even worse, we lost two of our good friends, Terran and Harrison.
Oh no.
We lost them to the Horde.
Oh. So he comes up. What do you guys want to do? So you're still in the house with him now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are
you
the
gonna
guys
go-
on the gate seeing Bello?
That's what I wanted to look for. That was going to be my next question. Do I see Bello?
Okay. You look amongst the crowd. You do see Bello.
Is he still glowing green?
Faintly.
Okay.
And the crowd of zombies is also not as active.
Lively?
Yeah, they're not as lively. They're just they're kind of like just like pushing on automatic up against the gates, and then they but they're all in a cluster there.
Can we see Harrison and Terran as zombies, or are they lying dead somewhere else?
I'll let Rollgood, I'll let you make a search check to see if you.
Okay. I got a 2. So that's a success.
So you notice that there's like a few of the zombies in this area occasionally kind of like wander around behind the buildings and then kind of come back. And you notice occasionally like they'll come down by the well and then they'll come back. But they always kind of gravitate back to the rest of the horde. And while you're looking, you see Terran and Arizen. And they definitely look like zombies. You see them go over to the well, and then they kind of turn around and they slowly come back to the rest of the horde.
So I go in and relay this information to Gizmo that some of the zombies are sometimes gravitating towards the well. If that has any significance.
Oh, that's where the demon went back into.
And
Right.
also, it's the place where I shoot the green crystal with a slingshot.
Right.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna try and get to? I think it was Harrison that had the candle holder.
It was Terran.
It was
Aaron?
turn.
Let's start with getting Magister out of here.
Harrison had the skull. I don't know if that means anything.
No, probably not.
So what's your plan for getting him out?
Chair, hop over 2 walls, and
And he's like, well, what am I going to do once I'm out of the gate? How are we going to get away?
we have horses outside, and we are getting towards the farm.
The Kerr farm?
Yeah,
The Kerr family.
Ah, okay.
they are. There seem to have situation under control.
Very well. So is he climbing over first, or who's climbing out?
I'll go over first.
Okay. You get over, still all clear. Magistrate Meyer climbs up over the chairs and then gets over the palisade and gets onto your ladder. He climbs down.
Let's follow.
I would follow.
Okay. So everybody's going. All right. You guys get over. You walk back towards the bridge.
I'm gonna do something before we get to the bridge. I'm
Okay.
gonna walk up to the west gate and hold a candlestick close to the gate without
Okay.
touching it. To
All right.
see if anything happens.
So here's what happens. You do that, and you immediately hear the groans of the zombies kind of intensify.
Then I run like hell.
They become more riled up. You run back to the bridge. You guys get to your horses.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they intact?
Yes. Meyer will ride with someone.
I'm probably the lightest, so he can saddle up with me.
Okay. So you guys get on your horses, and what are you going to do now? Ride back to the Kerr farm?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys get back to the Kerr farm. You basically bring Meyer in. Matthias, welcomes him in, and
Probably gonna steer him towards the well so we can clean up a bit more.
okay.
He's a bit ripe.
And when he gets a food, I'll sit next to him and pull out the map. And this is from Castle Lee. Do you know anything about this? I'm not disguising, we opened it before.
He looks at it and he's like, "This is from Castle Lee?"
Yes. It's for you. I don't know what it means. Do you have any idea?
We were supposed to bring it to you.
I don't. There's no writing on it. It's just, I see our county. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this map. Why are these hills marked? Why is there a mark there? Is that significant? Did Lord Lee tell you something about that?
We hoped you would know since he addressed it to you, but
I have no idea.
He didn't tell us anything. He didn't tell us it was going to be a map. He said it was a message to you.
I don't know what it means, unless he wants me to go to this place by these hills.
That might be something for us. I don't think it's something for you.
Do I get the feeling he's being truthful?
You know what? That is a superb question. I'm going to have you make a wisdom roll under.
Yeah, that's a 4 against my 7.
Wow.
Damn.
You get the impression that he's not being entirely truthful. Like maybe he has a suspicion about what this means.
Alright. So his guard is a little bit down because of his exhaustion.
Yeah.
So letting it tell slip. All right.
So Magistrate Meyer, have you been to these hills before?
No. If you're from this area, you might have grown up hearing stories about those hills being haunted by the ghosts of the soldiers who died there in battle long time ago. I know that many people dismiss those stories as, just common folk tales, but I would say that quite a few other people, including travelers who've gone through that area, have experienced strange things. I personally know people from the village who had gone out to those areas and had seen things like shadows moving amongst the trees and the hills, or heard strange muffled cries. I would not go there. That is, or at least not at nighttime, maybe during the day, and maybe if I was with a group of well-armed people like yourselves, but I would not go there by myself. And I don't know why Lord Lee would put this mark on the map and have this be intended for me. I do not know its significance.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I give Brogo a little poke and raised eyebrow. Like, I'm not sure he's truthful.
Are you telling us everything you know? I'm really getting up in his face right now because I'm starting to get really irritated. We need to figure out what's going on here.
Make a charisma roll under. Let's see if you can intimidate.
Charisma, roll under. Oh, that's an 11. My charisma is 10. Just missed it.
He's like, I assure you, I don't understand any more than you do why he would send a map with no missive, with no writing, no directions. I do not know. He's like, please, if you need to take some time to consider this, that's fine. I would like to use the outhouse, and then I would like to clean up if that's possible.
One more thing. Do you know who first in the town became a zombie? We have suspicion it's Bello, but we don't know.
No, Bello wasn't one of the sick people. There were many sick people in the town. Many sick people were in the town before anything happened, really.
Bello wasn't one of them?
No, Bello was at the inn with Falcone.
I start paying very close attention to this magistrate.
He says, I'm going to go to the outhouse, and then I'll bathe up, and then perhaps we can discuss this.
We can discuss this later.
So he kind of nods, and he walks out past the barn to an outhouse.
I follow him stealthily and closely.
Okay.
203.
You do. He's in the outhouse for a little bit, and it sounds like he's using the outhouse for its full potential. He comes out, goes over to the well, pulls up a bucket of water, and kind of takes off his shirt and his boots and his socks and just starts like washing himself. Matthias brings him like a washcloth, and he kind of like washes his pits and everything. So you see him out there kind of cleaning up, and then he has something to eat. So basically an hour goes by, and he kind of is cleaned up, and he's eaten and everything.
I want to walk around behind him and just look at the back of his neck, if possible.
Okay. You see a symbol on the back of his neck while he has his shirt off and he's scrubbing. You notice like when you walk behind him, he kind of like turns and he's like, "Can I help you?" And but you saw it in the moment before he kind of turned around.
And the mark was?
It was the crescent.
The crescent. I knew it. So I slide over to Gizmo and Freya and...
Can we speak to the main farmer about it as well?
To Kerr?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know it's strange, but I have suspicion that at night the Magister might turn into zombie. I don't try to alarm him, but I think he's onto it.
So Kerr is like, he's like, Mayar, are you sure?
No, but
what would make you suspect this? He doesn't seem sickly. I mean, he seems exhausted, but
a lot of zombies had a mark on them, and as Brogood said, he said that when he was washing that he had the same mark on him, and
mark of the Red Crescent. Do you know this mark?
No.
It appears to me that these things are being branded.
Well, what do you suggest?
Yeah, he called. So it's probably not safe to trust him. And I had some feelings about him being all truthful with that map. So there's more to this.
Did I squeeze the truth out of him?
And force him to be truthful.
We could try that. Yeah.
We could try that.
Matthias says.
Tell us.
So Matthias says, I do not want any torture of a man on my property. I don't think that that's necessary. I've known Mayar. He's, just like me and Arnulfson and Bello. He's been in the area for many years, and
I think something either turned them or something happened that they got the mark somewhere, and maybe even recently.
And it's definitely connected to this, and I show him the candle holder, the side where the mark is. You had one of those, if I remember, too.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the same mark. I show him. Just keep wood.
But what does it mean? What does all this mean?
Go freeze.
Yeah, Bill's freezing.
Am I freezing now?
Every so often, yeah.
Damn it.
Good.
So Kerr says, what does it mean? I don't understand. These candle holders and this symbol and the map.
That's what we're trying to find out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that orc 2 weeks ago that
Yes.
you buried over the fence? He buried same markings as.
Yes, I remember this symbol was on their armor.
And the magistrate has this mark upon him as well.
We don't know if he knows it. We don't know if he's onto it. We just know he has it, and that makes him a little bit suspicious.
Listen, I leave this to you to handle. My only request is that you not torture a man on my property. There are families here.
Understood.
Whatever you need to do to discuss this with with Myar, you may do so in the barn.
I have a question. Do I trust Matthias?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Can I check to see if he's telling us the truth?
Sure.
That's a wisdom.
Wisdom roll under.
That's a nat 1, baby.
You are completely convinced that you trust him and that he's given you no reason to distrust him.
Okay, good. I just wanted to check that for sure.
And he seems like the kind of guy who, if you asked him to see the back of his neck, he'd show you.
Okay.
What is the common theme for these candlestick holders? Where were they located?
They were all over the area. Nobody knows where did they got them, but they were tied to some war, if I remember from my research.
Mm-hmm.
We find the thing that ties them together, we get some answers.
Yeah. They've been in several families for decades and decades as an heirloom from a war long forgotten.
Where can we find the history of these families' origins?
We tried at Castle Lee and their magister's office, but we didn't.
We had a little bit of info from the church in the little town here that we read up, but not much more than that.
That hasn't really gotten us any farther.
No.
Oh, then we beat our way up the line until someone gives us some information.
If you'd like to take that straight out into the barn.
So here's where you guys are. Matthias goes back to his work with his family around the farm. As you guys have finished kind of discussing this, Magistrate Myar is finished with washing himself up and he's putting his clothes back on and he's heading to the barn to rest. So do you guys go to the barn?
I have an idea, fellas. Perhaps we want to bring Myar back to the Castle Lee, and on our way there, we just basically force him, and we go to that ghost house off to the right of the path, and take him there for questioning and see if maybe you can even find another candlestick holder there.
He may have an ally at the castle. We stand a better chance questioning him here.
No, that's why I said, just on the way back to the castle, there's a little haunted house that people talked about, and we take him there for questioning.
That's a good idea.
That's long before we get to the castle, so. And he'll probably be happy enough going towards the castle anyway, so he wouldn't be too suspicious, I doubt. So
let's take these problems away from this farmer that's been so hospitable to us.
Yeah.
Like that idea.
So are you guys gonna like propose this to him, to Myar? That you guys go back to Castle Lee?
Yeah. That'll be it's still relatively early, so we can probably take a good long ride over towards and have a little camp out and then continue in the morning.
It wouldn't be. We discussed it earlier to take a few of the families that got here because it's a safe area towards Castle Lee, because the stocks here and the provisions won't last too long. They will last little, but they can't support that much of the people. So we might.
Yeah, but there are no other people. So are you just going to take Myar under that assumption that you're returning to Castle Lee with him?
Yeah, just escorting Myar back to the castle so he can talk to the Lord about what happened, and leave the Kerr and the other families here, because this is a well defendable place for them. And with us and the candlesticks away, the zombies wouldn't be too interested in coming here.
Okay.
It's safe to let everyone else here and just escort Myar back.
Okay.
Okay.
we then of course do the plant thing.
Okay.
The whole way I stay behind Myar and keep my eye on him.
So you guys begin the process, and when you tell Meyer that you guys are going to head back to Castle Lee, he seems very relieved. He's like, yes, that we should definitely go back. I'm sure much safer with the fortifications of Castle Lee. Yes, let's go. So on horseback, you guys are able to make really good time going up the North Road.
We have one extra horse if Meyer is with us.
No.
Because Terrence and
oh yeah, so you'll take one of them. Yeah, so Meyer has his own horse, so you guys can make it into, as you go up the North Road. You guys are almost at the point of the forest, and you see again that waypoint where there's a sign heading to the east. Is that where you guys?
To that ghost house you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Santos.
Okay, so you guys are going to proceed, and when you start making this turn, Meyer's like, why are we turning off the North Road? I thought we were going to Castle Lee.
Oh, it's the place on the map.
We're making a pit stop.
But why would we go to this place?
We have to pick up another candlestick holder from here.
We have a suspicion that it might be here. Might be another one here.
Okay, I see. I understand. So he follows you guys. You travel about 4 miles, and you, off in the distance as you're heading east, kind of on an incline, you see these kind of like rolling fields that look like at one time they might have been, nice, fertile farmland, but no one has maintained them. So it's just kind of wild and overgrown. And you see a homestead that looks very much abandoned. You see fencing that looks like it might have been for livestock at one point, much of which has just collapsed. And this homestead, like the house is very dilapidated. There's weeds growing up in the path as you guys are approaching. So it looks like nobody has lived here for a while.
Yeah. Oh, look
As a riding point, I'm trying to see if there's any fresh marks.
Okay.
On the building up.
I'll let you make a search roll.
I would like to look as well.
Okay.
That's a 1. Yep.
I got a 4. That's
You
still
see,
a pass.
you see as you get closer to the house, you see about 4 sets of boot prints that look like they were kind of walking between the barn and the house. And they're not super recent. There might be a couple days old.
Right. I hold out my hand and quietly point out the marks, and keep your eye out.
It might have been our orc friends.
So you notice that the front door of this house is not, like, it's long ago rotted away, and it looks like whatever was left was kicked in. And you see dirt that matches like the boot prints, basically dirty boot prints on the porch leading into the house.
Right.
Looks like someone got here before us.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Okay. You guys basically begin looking through this house, and again, it looks It looks like it was abandoned a long time ago. There's a few bits of furniture, some of which, is just in disrepair. There's like mice droppings all over the floor of the house. Part of the roof seems to have rotted away, and there's clearly like water damage on the wood floors from where water seeped in over the years. If you want to do a more detailed kind of search, you can make a search roll.
I'd like to make a search roll. That's a 6.
Yes, 3 against my 2.
Success.
I'm just listening at the horse at the back, looking what Meyer is doing.
I got a 1 for 1.
Yeah, I got a 2 out of my 3 dots.
Okay, so while you guys are searching, Meyer is just standing like inside the front entrance of the house with Gizmo. How many of you guys had a 1? Or a 2? Or a 3? Okay, so a couple things. You notice, number one, that in what looks like the bedroom area, there's a lot of smashed up furniture. And this looks more like recently, like the dresser, all of the drawers are pulled out of the dresser and everything was smashed up. There's like a bed that looks like it was pretty much rotten anyway, but it's been carved open and there's just, loose bedding all over the place. You notice that everything that is in the kitchen area looks like it was pulled down and opened up and then thrown on the ground. So it looks like this house was completely ransacked.
Someone's been searching here.
They were probably looking for one of the candle holders.
Yeah.
They weren't here that long ago either.
Gizmo, roll a d6 and tell me what the result is.
One.
So while everybody's looking around, Magistrate Meyer is like, this is a foul place. I hope we're not going to stay here long.
We shouldn't need to. It seems like we have some traces. Do you remember those orcs that came in town like 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah. It seems like they've been there, and I point where Freya pointed before. Yeah, we think they might have found what they were looking for here.
Well, what about the barn? Shouldn't we check the barn as well?
I'm not going there alone.
Oh, well, I would go with you.
Are you armed?
No. Do you feel like we're in danger? I didn't hear anyone.
Well, you thought about the city where these zombies appeared out of nowhere as well before. I don't want to risk it on my own.
That is wise. So as the rest of you guys are finishing up searching and you're kind of coming back to the entrance of the house, Meyer says, what about searching the barn? Should we go search there?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
You go first.
I will follow you.
I don't have any weapons.
There's
I'll
probably
go
one there.
first. I just go in. I'll walk in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What's
the
the
barn,
order? So we've got
the barn is in another state of disrepair. It looks like there were some shelves that had like farm equipment, and all of that was pulled down and just thrown onto the ground. There is what looks like maybe a bale of hay that was here before the farm was abandoned, but it is entirely carved up and it's all over the floor, as if like somebody, and you even see like pitchforks that have just been thrown on the ground. They're rusty, but it looks like somebody just carved through the bale of hay looking for something. All of the doors to the stalls for the horses are also like smashed in.
Yeah.
If you guys want to make search rolls for this barn, you could as well.
Okay.
I want to see if I can find any storm shelter, trapdoor kind of things.
I got a 2.
Got another 2, and I have
And
3
then 2
dots.
more.
Another one.
Okay, Niels, what'd you get?
I got a 1.
So
Nice.
as you guys are searching, Freya, you start brushing away some of the straw that's on the floor, and it looks like just a dirt floor. And you continue kind of searching, and in the back of the barn, in one of the stalls, you walk in, and it's covered in old straw and stuff, but you begin brushing it away, and you tap, and there's definitely wood.
All right. I'm gonna call over Credo. And see this trapdoor here and see if he can open it.
I'll attempt to
You look
search
like
for
a
traps.
strong, firm man.
I'm quite the tinkerer. 3 out of 4.
Okay, you see, after kind of like cleaning up the edges, you figure out where the edges to this door are, and you see a very rusted ring, like an iron ring for opening it, and it's rusted out, but you kind of examine it, and you feel like you could open this safely, like there isn't anything attached to it.
Okay, I'll open it slowly.
Okay. It's kind of stiff. You get it open. The hinges are rusted too, but you kind of lift it open, and it makes this screeching noise. And it looks like basically someone dug out a pit in the dirt floor and buried a wooden box. And the box is about 3 feet wide by 6 feet long. And you open this hinged lid, and inside you see a very desiccated body. It's like all the fluid in the body was drained out, and it's like just this mummy of skin wrapped over bones. And in it's like hands are on its chest, and in its hands is a candle holder.
I fear that if I pry it from his hands, it'll reanimate. But I'll do it anyway.
All right, so I need to know who's over there. So right now it's just Freya and Credo. Who else is over there?
I'm
They haven't said
nearby,
anything,
just
so I'm still
looking.
looking around.
Okay, Freya or Credo, do you say anything to the rest of the group?
I'll look back. We found something interesting.
Yeah.
Death.
Okay.
My friends, remember what happened in the cave?
Yeah.
What cave?
What happened in the cave?
We were in the cave and we were fighting what's it called?
Lich.
Lich?
Yeah. I'll
A
just grab my
lich.
rapier.
Careful.
I just grab my rapier and take my time aiming well and just sticking it through his skull.
Okay,
Pull out my mace.
so I'm gonna go around to each one of you. I want to know where you are and what you have wielded or prepared. So, Credo, you're in the stall. You
I'm
just
in the
open the
stall.
lid. Do you pull out your sword?
I do have my sword out, and I'm thinking about pulling
Okay.
the candlestick from its hand.
Freya, you're right behind Credo. You could see this thing in this box.
Mm-hmm.
You pull out your rapier.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna take out my rapier and just take a well aimed stab at his head.
Okay, pause. Elena, do you walk over there and do you have your weapon out?
Yeah, I have my mace and shield. I'm like just outside the stall.
Okay, roll good.
I'm behind Alana, and I have my axe out.
All right, and Gizmo.
I'm back with Meyer, still looking inside, but assuming we are still outside of the barn.
Meyer says, what do you think they found?
It seems dangerous, and pulled my bigger, at least.
Okay, so Meyer doesn't go in the barn. He looks like very scared. Freya, it was your intent to stick your rapier into this thing's skull, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this, I just want to make sure I'm understanding the flow of this. Are you going to preemptively stick your rapier into its skull before Kratos tries to grab the candle holder?
Yeah, as I see him reach for it, I just hold him back warningly and just hang on and just stab.
And when Freya stabs him, I say, does anyone have anything that's comparable size and weight to what this thing is holding in its hands?
Okay. Freya, you stab it in the head. Just as you are kind of pulling him back and you're like, hold on, and then you're going to lunge, it opens its eyes and it jumps out towards you to grab your blade with its hands. Roll initiative.
D6, right?
D6.
6.
5.
That's a 1.
6.
5 as well.
All right, hold on. Freya, what'd you have?
5.
Let's see. Kratos, what'd you have?
6.
Roll good.
5.
Okay, Elena,
1.
Gizmo,
5.
oh,
Oh no.
That
It
doesn't
has a
sound
six.
Yes,
great.
Mouse, you're too late.
it has a 6.
Thanks, Freya.
All right, so Freya, you are like in mid lunge, okay? But this thing kind of surprises you because it wasn't moving. It didn't seem to react in any way. But as your rapier is inches from its skull, it reaches forward and it grabs your rapier. And you hear your rapier like cutting through its flesh, but it grabs your rapier and it's holding it, and it's like, and it's like making this terrifying screech.
I double down on my pressure.
Yes, you will when it's your turn, but first it's time for a saving throw.
I was gonna say, my
So
turn.
the 3 people that are within 10 feet of it all need to make a saving throw versus magic, and that is going to be, so obviously Kratos, Freya, and Elena.
And that's a roll under for magic.
Wait, for what? For magic, you said?
Yeah, let me pull up your saving throws. Or
I've
unless
got
you have your
14.
sheets open.
I've got a 14 there.
I have mine open.
I've rolled a 5 against 14.
That's a 2,
I rolled a 10
and I have
against
14.
So you want to roll high, not low.
Oh, great.
Saving throws, yeah. So the number on the chart is the number that needs to be rolled or higher to successfully save. A natural 20 is always a save. A natural 1 is always a fail.
All right.
Well, I failed anyway.
Okay. So you on your turn, you will
Yeah.
actually, Kratos up first. So Kratos, what'd you get?
Oh, I got a 13. So 1 under.
So you run in terror. You run. You begin fleeing, and you will move your full movement, which runs you past Gizmo and Meyer out of the barn. Freya, do you fail?
Yeah, I got a 5 against 14.
You let go of your rapier and run. Full ass. Up next in initiative order would be Roll Good. You see your 3 comrades who are right in front of you. You hear the sound. You see all three of them run. Elena, Freya, and Credo just tear ass.
Do I see the candle holder?
No, you would have to move up into the space that they just vacated,
See that?
into the stall door, to see what it was that just made that sound.
How big is the stall?
It's like a horse stall, like
Okay.
probably 6 wide by 10 deep.
Okay. I'm just gonna go after it.
All right, you come around the corner and you see very similar desiccated kind of corpse as the one that you guys encountered in the cave. And it's holding, you see the, like, aiming up at you, the handle end is Freya's rapier. And it's looking at, and it comes around the corner, you come around the corner. Do you attack it? What do you do?
Would I be able to, I have an axe in one hand, would I be able to try to take the rapier away from it?
Sure.
Okay, is that a strength?
You can make a strength roll under.
So I have a 12 strength, and that is a 15.
Okay, it rolled an 8. So you grab the handle and you're like, and it's holding the blade with its bare hands. And as you're pulling it, you hear the blade kind of cutting against bone and skin, but it doesn't seem to be impacting this thing.
Okay.
Gizmo, 3 of your friends just tore ass past you, and they ran out of the barn.
Would I recognize a screech?
Yeah, you heard the screech, and you see Rollgood go in, and he's struggling with something. You just can't see it from where you are.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably try to summon something this time, as a for beginning. It's most powerful stuff in my inventory.
Okay.
And I remember when I was running from something like that before.
Okay. You will begin your summoning. Top of the order. Roll good. What's your armor class?
I have 16.
Okay. It swipes out, so it's still holding the blade of the rapier with one hand, but with its other hand, it swipes out at you with a claw, but it misses. Credo, you are still running. Freya, you are still running.
Jesus.
Roll good, you may go.
I still have a hold of one hand on the rapier, and I want to try to hit him with my axe then.
Okay.
That is a 17.
You successfully hit it with your axe. Roll damage.
And that's 4 damage.
Okay. Crunch. Gizmo, the casting shall begin. The adjudication of the pain in the ass summon spell begins with the caster choosing the intended power of the summoned entity.
Between 4 and 3.
Yes. Then the caster makes a saving throw versus magic.
Yeah. And I rolled 1, so the form is random. If I understood it
Okay,
correctly.
so the form is random. Now you make a saving throw versus magic.
Okay. And 5. Again, failed. I think.
Oh no.
Shit.
Oh no.
Combinated
Yeah.
probably.
You got a nat 20.
No, so when you fail the saving throw, it means that a more powerful creature than anticipated might come through.
Oh, Jesus.
Step 3, the creature's form and powers will be randomly determined on the following tables. All right, so here's my, oh my God.
Oh, what?
I rolled a 19. That's the form. Hit dice. All right, that's not bad.
What's the 19 get me? Or get us?
That's really not good.
Oh my god.
19 for form? Well, it depends on what he rolled next.
Okay. An inky blackness dripping like almost like tar, just like kind of appears almost like a cloud of smoke from the earthen floor of the barn in front of Gizmo, and takes form from this smoke into kind of a tarry substance, and light doesn't seem to have an impact on it, and it kind of swirls its head around as if looking. I'm going to randomly roll the direction. It begins moving towards you, Gizmo. Mayar runs away. Elena, you also run away. Top of the order, the creature attacks. Roll good for 19. You take 6 damage.
Okay.
Kratos, time to make another saving throw versus magic.
14.
Is that a save?
Yes.
For magic.
You said roll over, right?
Yeah. Equal to or higher. Okay.
Two over.
So you're like, you stop running and you're like, my God, that was the most terrifying thing. But you look back and you're about 30 feet down the road. Like you passed the horses, and you look back and you see at the entrance of the barn, Mayar running out of the barn. And you see the back of Gizmo in the entrance of the barn, and you see like darkness beyond him. You can't really see even what it is. You're like, why is it so dark?
Can I intercept Mayar? How close am I to him?
He's running towards you.
Okay.
Freya, make a follow-up magic save.
And it's supposed to be a roll over using other dice. 4 again. Heck.
Freya, you continue running. You make it out to the road by this point. Roll good. It is your turn.
I'm going to try to push with that rapier. So I have to use then strength against him.
Yep. Make a strength roll under and tell me the result.
My strength is a 13.
You beat him on the roll under. You win.
I got a 6.
Okay. So you beat him on the roll under. So now you're going to make an attack roll with the rapier on him.
Okay. And that's, I don't know what it has to add to it. My dex, that would be then a 7.
Strength.
Okay, then that would be a 6.
Okay, so you're going to do half damage, so he'll take 3. So it kind of, you shove it into him, but it's not like through his head or anything. It just goes into his shoulder, and you hear the crackling of his leathery skin. Gizmo.
Oh, can I ask, how is it with Domination Roll?
Yeah, you're going to do the Domination Roll. Hold on 1 second. So you're going to roll a d20.
Yeah, plus 3.
You don't have any bonuses right now because you don't have a circle or any sacrifices.
So just the 20.
Oh my
and
God.
It's 20. I'll share. I'll share. Give me a second.
So I need to know the margin of victory because this thing has a 24. What'd you roll?
It's plus nothing. Am I correct?
Correct.
Are
So,
you rolling at 20?
You're rolling that 20.
So I still lost by 4. So...
Okay, that's not bad. So the margin of victory determines how many d10s to roll to determine how many rounds the creature will be under the caster's control. If the creature wins, it will simply lash out, attempting to kill and maim all living creatures while it's stable in this reality for a number of rounds equal to D10 plus the margin 1. So D10 times 4. So 4 D10s. 7, 10, that's 17, 27, 28. Good God. Okay. Gizmo, it's your turn. You feel like you don't have control over this thing, and if you stay close to it, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, I move back. Definitely.
Okay. You run away. Elena, make a save versus magic. Let's see if you snap out of your fear.
Yep, 16, and I have a 14 on my save.
You stop skidding out into the dirt, and you turn around. You see your traveling companion, Kratos, also kind of seeming to snap out of it. You see Freya continue running towards the road. You see Magistrate Maiar running towards you and Kratos, and you see Gizmo turning and fleeing from the barn, and there's some inky blackness behind him.
Okay. Do I get to take a turn?
Yeah.
Okay. This is really confusing for Elena, but there's still people inside the barn, so she's going to head that way.
All right. As you're running towards the barn, Maiar is screaming. He's like, "It's the end of the world!" Ah! And he's like running towards Kratos and towards the road to get away.
I'm going to tackle his ass.
So
Where do
I
you
want
think
you to
you're
imagine.
going?
So here's how you should imagine Magistrate Maiar right now. You know that scene in the Ghostbusters movie, like where he's at the party and the big dog beast jumps out and he runs out of his apartment building and he's running through the streets of New York and he's like, "Help me!" Help me. And like no one, yeah, he's Maiar's fleeing for his life. Let's see, top of the order. Roll good. That's a miss. Claw, miss. Roll good. You hear like yelling and screaming in terror. And kind of like as you're struggling over your shoulder, you see this enormous black, inky, amoeba-like form with like blob tendrils kind of floating near the entrance of the barn. So you're at the far end of the barn. You're 30 feet away from this thing, but you see it.
I want to see if I can look for the candle holder, and if I can find it, I want to take it and get as far away from that thing as I
will
can.
say that when this thing set up to attack, it dropped the candle holder. The candle holder's right in the box. You can reach down in the box and get away, but it's going to take a swipe at you.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. That is an 18.
That's a hit.
You take 2. You have the candle holder. Obviously, you let go of the rapier. You have the candle holder.
Right.
And are you going to try to run past the inky blackness that's filling the space in the front of the barn? Or out one of the back windows?
Out the back.
Okay, make a climb roll.
Is that climb?
D6.
It's
I got a 2.
Okay. You begin the process of climbing. Up next is Kratos.
First, before I tackle the magistrate, I see if I can slow him down with my words. So I say, "Magistrate, calm down and come with me."
He's like, "Run! There's demons! That's blackness! We're gonna die!" He failed. If this were Call of Cthulhu, he would have lost half of his sanity. He is terrified.
So I'll tackle him to subdue him.
Okay. He has an inferior strength, so I'm going to say you can go ahead and do that.
And I try to calm him down with on the ground. "Please, we must use our heads. No running in fear."
Okay. Yeah, he's screaming, "Let me go! We need to run away!" You spend your round doing that. Freya, make another not wisdom save, sorry, magic save.
$14 against 14.
A push. How does that work?
That's a save. Makes
That's a
it.
save, yeah.
Oh, that's tie goes
Freya,
to the
you
roller.
You find yourself on the road, panting heavily. You sprinted as fast as you possibly could. You have no idea where your rapier is. You look back over your shoulder, halfway back up the path to the farmhouse and the barn. You see Kratos on the ground, like wrestling with Maiar. You see Gizmo running out towards them, and you see Elena running back into the barn. You do not see Roll Good.
All right. How sane am I? I would.
You know that you were just affected by something terrible,
Yeah.
and you've recovered your wits.
All right.
What you don't see is what's in the barn.
Yeah. I'll be heading back that way again.
Okay. You
Trying as best as I
run
can,
full speed back towards your friends. Roll Good. Make another climb check.
That's a 6.
You're climbing up towards the window. You can't get the window open. Your foot slips and you fall back into this stall.
Trapped with the black goo. And the thing.
And the thing.
The thing does not approach you. You see the thing like run out like it's going after you, and then you see it turn and see the inky blackness, and then the thing like runs back into its coffin and pulls the lid down over itself.
Ooh.
Oh God! Oh no!
If it's
Oh,
scared of
no.
the oh shit.
That thing's scary.
Woohoo!
Kratos, you're up. Maiar is not struggling, but he's like, we have to get away. There's some kind of blackness, some demon, it's in there.
I'm not leaving anyone behind. So you can stay with me and live, or I can end this now.
Okay, fine, I'll stay with you. Let's go.
Let's go. Go back and try to gather everyone and get the hell out of there.
Oh, you're going back to the barn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets up with you, and then the minute you're going back to the barn, he turns and runs away. In fact, he doesn't run away, he runs forward, but when the road gets up towards the house and the barn, he runs over towards the horses.
Okay, I go after him.
Okay. Roll Good. Make another climb.
Okay.
Come on,
Get
bro,
out of
good.
there.
You can do it.
Come on, man.
5.
Roll Good. Things are not looking good for you.
Jeez.
No.
The inky blackness seems to amorphosize and begins floating towards the back of the barn, and its tendrils are kind of like oozing out into longer tentacle type forms. Gizmo.
Did I get skipped on the last round? I'm not sure.
Yes. What do you do, Elena?
I'm heading towards the barn.
You're
how
at the
close am
barn. I'll retcon it. You're at the barn. You see an inky blackness that terrifies you, unlike anything you've ever seen in your existence. It seems
I can't
to
see
absorb
past.
all the light around it. You can't see past it. You hear scrambling from the back of the barn,
Uh-huh.
but you don't see past it.
Did anyone witness the wraith
I'll
jumping
run
back
around
in
the
its
other side of
coffin?
the barn to see if like there's another way in.
Okay, you do. Back to this round, Freya. Let's see. Roll Good. Gizmo. We're on Gizmo, and then it'll be back to Elena. So Gizmo, what do you do?
Okay, I'll try to run towards side of the barn.
Yeah. Okay.
And pull out my tinderbox, and next time I try to set it on fire.
Okay. Elena, you run around to the back of the barn, and you see a window, and you see like Roll Good trying to like get up to it, like you could see his hands but it's like he can't seem to climb up to the height of the window, and the window's closed. What do you do?
Like how high is the window up?
It's about 8 feet up.
Oh shit. I'll throw my mace at it and see if I can open it for him.
You smash it open.
Okay.
Now your mace is in the goo.
Fredo, your turn.
Did I catch back up to Myar?
Yeah, he's trying to get on one of the horses.
Okay. I grab the reins of the horse so it can't move.
Okay.
And I tell him once again, we're not leaving anyone behind.
He gets off the horse and he's like, fine.
Come with me. I'm not going to take him up to the barn. That's
Okay.
foolish.
So you
We'll
can
just-
see this inky darkness in the barn.
Can I see it expanding, or can I just see?
You see it moving towards the back of the barn where the undead mummy kind of creature was. Up next is Freya.
I'm probably. I notice Elena going around the back.
Yes.
Probably gonna give chase that way.
Okay. You follow. Roll good. Time for another climb check.
Come on. That's a 1.
Okay.
There you go. Bring my mace, please.
You jump up. Well, I didn't think you threw it through. I thought you just smashed it. You jump
Oh,
up
okay.
and basically get a hold of the windowsill and pull yourself through. You take 1 hit point of damage because you carve your hands up and,
That's okay.
and scrape yourself up. But you basically vault through the window. You kind of jump up, grab yourself, and pull yourself through, and you fall out. And Elena catches you.
Oh, Elena. Thank you.
And so that you don't take any more damage. And Freya, you come around the corner to see Brolgood basically escaping out this window, and Elena catching him. And there's something inky and black inside, just through the window. It's like an absence of light, but it has movement to it.
Let's get out of here.
Elena, all right, so Gizmo, you're up.
Okay, trying to set the barn on fire. It would be
Roll a d20 and tell me what the result is.
okay. 18.
Okay, you begin lighting a spot that's pretty dry. It looks like the wood's rotted, and back to the top of the order. Ooh. Credo. All of your friends ran around to the other side of the barn. You're by the horses, by Myar, and you could see into the barn. That inky blackness is at the very back of the barn, the other end.
I grab Meyer, I throw him on the back of the horse, and I get on the horse. And then I take my torch and my flask of oil and my flint, and I light my torch. Ride around to the back where everyone is and throw a torch at the barn.
Okay, that'll be a couple rounds. All right, so Freya, what are you doing? You see Gizmo lighting on the side, like lighting part of the barn on fire. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. So Brolgood coming through the window. So
Yeah, Brolgood seems to have gotten out safely.
yeah.
Elena caught
Brolgood,
him.
did you manage to get a candle holder?
Yeah, the candle. I had the candle holder.
All right. And you happen to see where my rapier is?
It's in the coffin, probably.
I love that rapier.
It can be
Probably
replaced.
not safe
I
going
wouldn't
back
go back
in.
and get it.
No. I'll just suppose I'll just stand around outside.
Okay,
You
roll
guys-
good.
I'm heading back to my horse. I want to get the hell out of here.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gizmo, still working on fire.
Yeah, should
Okay.
try.
Elena,
Time to go, Freya. I'm heading out.
okay. So you guys start running back. As you're running back, you see Kratos on a horse with Maiar on the back of the horse and a torch riding around towards you guys. Kratos, you get around to the side, you see Gizmo like fanning a little fire that he started. What are you doing with your oil and your torch?
I'll take, I'm lighting my torch, or I'm dumping the oil on the torch, lighting it up, and asking, who was it, Gizmo? That's out there light. I asked Gizmo if he needs oil to ignite his flame.
Would be much faster.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'll toss him my flask after I've put it on my torch. I have 3 torches, so I throw 1 torch at the building and just let it burn.
Okay. Freya, running towards the horses.
Yeah, as I see him tossing in the torch, I'm gonna quickly search my backpack for one of my flasks of oil and just hammer slam it into the barn as well.
Okay.
Just unlit, so just close to where the fire is starting to spread.
Okay. Roll good.
Heading to my horse.
Okay. Gizmo.
I
The
try
fires
to,
seem to be going with the help of your friends.
yeah, turning around, running towards the horse.
Okay. Elena.
Getting on my horse if I'm close enough.
So at this point, everybody who wasn't already on a horse, you guys get back to the horses. And you actually get on your horses. And as you're getting on your horses, you see that the amorphous blackness inside of the barn seems to be expanding. And you see the front wall of the barn have this strange effect. It's like disintegrated. It's like the wall vibrates super fast and then it like gets sucked into this blackness.
Oh, Jesus.
And the blackness kind of pours out of the front of the barn. Now, you guys are all on your horses by this point.
Gizmo, what did you unleash?
Oh, that
Let's get out of
wasn't.
here.
Let's get out. It should dissipate in a few hours. I think.
Oh, just a few hours.
You guys ride out?
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Let's get
Is
the hell
everybody
out of here.
riding away?
Get the hell out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys ride down the path back towards the road. As you're riding over your shoulder, you see the roof of the barn begin to get sucked in. The walls
Jesus.
begin to
Oh
get
my
sucked
God.
in. And this
Oh
blob,
my God.
this blob kind of explodes out of the barn, but there is no barn anymore because the barn gets sucked into it. And you notice that like the area even around the blob is darker. Like all the light is darker around it. It's more like cast in shadow. And it seems to be rolling towards you guys. And you're on the road and you're riding as fast as you can. And it's rolling through the fields across, not down the road, but just literally kind of, towards you guys. And everything
beeline
in its
through.
path begins to get sucked into it.
Oh my God.
Let's lead it back to that town. If it's following us, we might as well have it suck up all those zombies too.
If you had
Did it
that,
last that long?
Are
I
you
don't
guys
know.
doing that, or are you going back towards the north?
Towards the castle.
Do we have enough time to do that? Like
Well,
that?
I'll put it to you this way. If you guys ride as fast as you can, what happens is that after a couple minutes, the blob, though it didn't seem to be gaining on you, but it also wasn't losing, you weren't losing it like with your speed. By the time you get back to the north road, the blob started to dissipate and fade.
Oh.
All right.
But basically now there's a track of void, of blight, like it vacuumed up everything through those fields and along the road that wasn't like...
Gizmo, I think you have some serious power there that you can unleash.
I'm not doing it.
As long
Again,
as you
anytime
learn
soon.
how to control it.
Yeah.
So
I look back at the magistrate and I tell him, I know that there's something you're not telling us. We will have a conversation.
You're right. I'm not telling you because I'm ashamed that I urinated myself in fear. But that's none of your business.
Yes, it is. You pissed on my back.
He just seemed downtrodden.
if
And as you guys begin to head north along the North Road, up ahead, you see the Great Forest, a place where you have traveled through many times. And you travel for the rest of daylight and into night. And you're about halfway through the forest by about 9 o'clock at night. What do you want to do? Do you want to continue to push on through the forest, or do you want to camp?
I'd say camp.
I want to camp out. I need to talk to Meyer. I want to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
tired
that-
of
it's
messing
time
We need to have that
it's
sit down
time
now.
to have that conversation.
Okay. So you guys find a spot, off to the side of the road. You gather some stuff and build a fire, and you set up bedrolls and set up a camp. Meyer actually takes off his undergarments and washes them in a nearby creek.
After he does that, I walk up to him and grab him by the back of his head, put my axe up to his throat, and you tell me the truth now, what's going on, or you're gonna die.
All right, make a charisma roll under roll, and I'll let you. I'm going to give you a bonus.
That was a nat 1 anyway.
Okay.
Can't see it, but it was.
You hear him, he's like, "Oh God, please no, don't." Oh.
Then tell me what the hell.
I'll tell you everything, please. I'll tell you everything. Don't summon another one of those horrible black demon things.
Now you know who you're dealing with. Tell us the truth. Tell us everything.
All right. So you
Now we
march
have to
him over,
work.
you march him over towards the fire and sit him down on a stump, and he looks out at you and he says, "You gentlemen must know something. It's important. I didn't want any of this to happen, but I didn't have choices. They forced us to do things."
Everyone has choices.
No, I mean, I literally didn't have a choice. They wield this magic over us. They're powerful. They wield magics, and
they?
The Red Crescent.
Where did you get that mark on your neck?
They branded me with it like they did the others.
But where?
Those who they captured and tortured and used their magics on.
Where did
Set
they
up in the
hold you?
mountains. On this map, this mark, is that where it's at? Is that where the Red Crescent is?
I don't know where their base is.
Where did they get you?
Traveling.
Where did you get this mark? When did they do it to you?
They captured me on the road. I woke up. They pulled a bag off of my head. They had me hooded, and I was in some kind of a cave. And there were these 3 strangely garbed priests. They wore long red cloaks and
Like
hoods.
the one I have here in my bag?
Yes. And they had masks, and they chanted in some foreign tongue that I did not know. I was surrounded, and there were orcs, armed orcs with weapons, and I was made to kneel down in a circle, and they chanted all night long, and they made me drink this horrible viscous oozing fluid, and I began to see things and hear things, terrifying things, the stuff of nightmares. It was as if my nightmares were coming true and surrounding me. I saw all those who I loved being tortured and burned alive, and their flesh being torn off by horrible demons. And then these chanting priests did something, and I don't remember what happened. I blacked out.
Do they
When
still hold sway over you?
Well, when I awoke, I felt like a burning pain, and I could feel it on my neck. It hurt, like as if they burned me, and it was sore. And I found myself on a road. I walked back into town, and I was scared to tell anyone because I wasn't sure if it was real.
How long ago was this?
2 weeks ago.
Where were you when you realized where you were? As you walked back to town?
South of town. On the main road, but south.
So 2 weeks. That's after we had first contact?
Yes, about that. I would wake up at night. Every night was like horrible nightmares. I would wake up covered in sweat in my bed, and I couldn't always remember the nightmares, but I know they were terrifying.
You allowed brave soldiers to die for you, yet you kept your tongue. Why?
I tried to tell someone. I tried to tell Bello. When the people started being sick, I felt like maybe there was some connection. And I went to the inn and I tried to talk with Bello. And I was telling him about this, and it was almost as if he was in a daze. He just looked at me, but not really at me, almost past me. And he wouldn't respond. That is when I wrote the missive to send to Lord Lee, and I dispatched Roger to take it, to request help.
I silently pull the scroll holder from my bag and show him the missives that should be there. This
Yeah.
one?
Yes,
It didn't make it to Castle Lee.
yes. But I assure you, I don't know where these people are. In regards to that map that you showed me with the mark near the hills, I assume that maybe that meant something significant, as if Lord Lee wanted me to go there, but I don't know why.
I feel that your life is already forfeit. You spent time with these people and they've done something to you. You may not know it now, but I don't feel you have much time left. Have you made preparations?
Who are you? You are no judge. I will have you know that I am still the magistrate, even if the town of Oak Point is overrun, and I serve at the leisure of Lord Trenton Lee.
No one bearing the mark of the Crescent holds any sway over me.
I'm not claiming to hold sway over you, sir. I appreciate your assistance with rescuing me, but I will not be treated as some guilty party. I've done nothing wrong.
That still remains to be seen.
I was a victim. I was abducted. Now, this will all be sorted out tomorrow when we get to Castle Lee. I will be having words with Lord Trenton myself to get to the root of this matter and what's going on here.
I trust that you will be a man of your word and do that, and I will be paying attention.
I have nothing to hide.
Is there any possibility?
Do we know if he's telling the truth? Is he telling the truth as far as we know?
Sure. Go ahead and make a wisdom roll under.
I've got an nope.
13. Damn it, missed.
I rolled an 8 against 7. Barely missed.
He seems to be just like a defeated man. He just kind of like sits there and he's looking at the fire.
Well, should we go to Castle Lee then? Or do you want to go to the forest and see
You
if
are
we
in the
find-
forest. You're in a
I mean,
camp in the forest.
I mean, do you want to go to the X marks the spot and see if we can find out what's going on there?
So you guys are about halfway to Castle Lee at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We could send the magistrate by himself
I
and
wouldn't
go
do
check
that.
out the.
I would escort him at least to the walls. And
Now, I would say if we let him go to the castle, we would be escorting him all the way in and be there when he meets Lord Trenton.
Right. Because we let him go, he's just going to take off. Like, we'll never see him again.
Okay. Okay.
I think he would go to the Castle Lee anyway. He doesn't want to be out there.
No,
Mm.
I agree.
Yeah, but I feel we need to be with him, guarding everyone from him if he ends up doing something nefarious.
Right. And
when-
if he's
in the meeting
infected
with
and
the-
doesn't know it, etc. Yeah, agree.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust him alone with the Lord Trenton. Well, going both ways for either being in on it together, or for nefarious reasons that he might do something there that he's had some command to do, or it might be commanded by like remote control.
We'll take him. We'll take him back then.
Okay.
And I have a mind of just killing him in his sleep right here, but
Freya.
I share that thought with you.
We should also check, if we have time, what remains of the barn.
The barn
Barn is
is
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
But we don't know what remains. There might
yeah, that
Nah.
whatever creature might still be in there somewhere. You mean?
yeah.
If the barn's
like-
gone, the creature's probably gone too.
Well,
So you guys are gonna camp, and then the following morning, where are you gonna go? To Castle Lee?
Castle Lee.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's on first watch?
I need to sleep because I'm not feeling very good.
Okay. I'll take second
I'll
one.
stand.
Okay. So first watch. Roll a d20.
Who's rolling?
10.
10. Okay. Nothing happens during the first watch. Second watch. Who is on second watch? Okay. Roll a d20.
18.
Okay. 2 hours into the second watch, it's still dark. It's about 4 in the morning. And the only thing that you guys have heard all night long are just kind of the nocturnal sounds of the forest. Crickets, bugs, the occasional owl. You hear a sound that seems like it's pretty far away, but it is a terrifying screeching sound. And it echoes through the forest.
Do we recognize the screech
Yes,
from earlier that day?
you sure do. It is a terrifying reminder of the encounter that you had. And this time it's pitch dark in the middle of the night in the forest. And this sound seems to be coming from the south. And that is where we'll end this episode of the Lament. Make sure that you
Jesus!
subscribe, click that notifications bell so that you don't miss the next episode. Peace out, everyone.
We might all die.
Who knows?
Well, hello, it's me, Wizzy. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. And then don't forget to tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching, and crafting videos and DM tips and pro tips for vlogging and all sorts of gaming things.